Okay, so let's talk about the non-pony. I'm curious to know what you think about this. So somebody brought it up again on one of the CNBC shows or someplace, but it's been on my mind, probably been on your mind for weeks. Okay, so I'm president of the United States. I make a decision. As soon as I make the decision, I get sued in one or more district courts.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I can't make a decision because every decision I make is automatically going to get sued, and then there's going to be an injunction, temporary injunction, blah, 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 and then it's got to work its way through the courts. It feels as if this is not sustainable
Well, yes,
as a method. Yeah.
It's not, and Trump really, talked about it today. He said it in as many words as you've expressed it. And I do think this. He's ultimately having success.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's going to fall off. Now, there are two possible scenarios. The one is it does taper off and people get used to, him or allowing him to make those
orders. Right.
The problem with that is if he's followed by a Democratic president, all of that could be reversed by exactly the same method by which he does it. So it's not ideal. Ideal was, to get this stuff through Congress, but they're having a hell of a hard time doing that. On the other hand, I do think that the courts have been differential to him. Not the lower courts, and not the appeal court in Washington, but many of the circuit appeal courts, but more importantly, the Supreme Court has been quite cooperative in hearing things on an emergency basis and overriding the district courts. Now, whether this will finally resolve by having Congress pass a bill that, limits the district courts to their district, I don't think it's going to happen unless and until a ruling party has 60 votes in the Senate. So it may just have to be worked through at the Supreme Court level. I wish the Supreme Court would actually do some sort of finding on the issue of the district courts. It just doesn't seem to be a sustainable situation when we've become so driven by court action as a society because of the schism. That it doesn't seem sustainable to continue this district court having, power over the entire country.
Exactly. On the good note, back to the good news, back to finding the ponies, Congress is now promising a lot of rescission legislation. Speaker Johnson said that
Congress, some in Congress. So because it's got to get through the Senate as well. I mean, I think that Senator Johnson made a very powerful case. I don't know if you heard him on All In. And I think there was an All In interview of Senator Johnson. It was an amazing interview. I think that has power because I think they must be feeling the pressure. I hope they're feeling the pressure because nothing would do this country better than having, a rescission bill driven by Doge and visited frequently as Doge finds more stuff.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing maybe is that this will be a series of rescission bills that will be specific to each department or each type of rescission that's being made. And I think that's a really good way to go.
Here's the problem, Randy.
Okay, yeah.
I think a rescission bill requires 60 votes in the Senate.
No, only 51.
Are you sure of that?
Yes. Saw several sources yesterday.
Okay, that's very encouraging if that is true. I thought the reason Johnson was putting his foot down was that he thought if it's not in this omnibus bill, he wouldn't be able to get it in. But I can check that with Grok.
Yeah, so to me it looked like I like it. I like it from a governance standpoint. There's obviously two things that we look at. We look at something like this rescission from the standpoint of, will it work? Will it get the votes? And then number two is it good from a governance standpoint? And putting them through one at a time for different issues, I think is the best for governance, for transparency, for the public to see what's going on. Even though a second big, beautiful rescission bill might be the easier way to get it done, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, rescission needs to become a standard, and a rescission, and in fact, it shouldn't be. Yeah, so rescission bills required by the president are subject to an expedited procedure and require only a simple majority, with the vice president's tie-breaking vote in both the House and the Senate. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, then I'm less troubled by the fact that there won't be a rescission in this omnibus bill. And so hopefully that will be a good thing.
So with those rescission bills starting to make their way over to the House or the Senate, and with the Senate probably going to make some kind of a statement with their own version starting next week when they get back into session. Do you think President Trump right now has the power, because he's at the peak of his power? Do you think he has the power to make sure this budget deal gets done one way or the other before 4th of July?
I would hope so. I just don't know enough about the politics of it. I just don't know enough about the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But I would hope so.
Yeah. We would all hope so. If you happen to be a big fan of the Cybertruck, you might also be interested in this super fun Cybertruck refrigerator magnet and bottle opener. It is made out of super thick stainless steel, just like the Cybertruck, and it has this giant magnet on the back, so it's going to hold a lot of stuff on your refrigerator. It's an amazing gift, and it comes in that great gift box that you saw before that uses a magnet opener, just almost like an Apple box, like when you get Apple products. You can buy it on Amazon for $29.95, or you can buy it direct from me by sending $25 to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. Please indicate whether you want the stainless steel look, or maybe you'd like to have this very clever camo version. And then if you're not in the US, please add $20 for freight. If you'd like more than one, please check the information below to get pricing, as well as all that information I just told you will be repeated in the information below. So once again, think about joining the channel, getting the up-to-date Tesla news every single day. I think you'll be glad you did.